Growth is a journey and not a race. Growth is a journey and not a race. I know that the senior wise people in my life used to tell me that, but I thought it was a race for a long time. But I'm here to tell you, it is not a race. It is not a race. It is a journey, and God wants you to enjoy it. And while you're reflecting and while you are embracing things and while you are growing, encourage yourself to take small actions to keep celebrating. Write down what you learned about yourself. What did you learn about yourself? Sometimes we're talking about people so much, we don't even say what we learned about our own self. What was the last thing you celebrated? Welcome, I'm Sybil Bull, your host for Faith Based Optimum Living, where we dive into transformative content for emotional wellness, purpose-driven living, and meaningful living. So we're going to talk today about something amazing, and I don't want you to miss any of it. So get yourself sitting still, all right? It's about to be really, really good. Today we're going to dive into what it looks like to reflect and reset, celebrating your growth, and planning your next steps. We're going to reflect and we're going to reset and we're going to celebrate your growth. So in this episode, we're going to talk about why self-reflection is essential for personal and spiritual growth. We want to also talk about how to celebrate your wins and lessons learned, how to set a vision for your next phase of growth. I definitely know this is personal to me, and I hope that it's going to become really personal to you because it's going to be really, really good. I'm going to share some, I'm going to be a little bit transparent about some stuff here in this one when we talk about reflect and reset, because celebrating your growth and planning your next steps is really important when we're cultivating our optimum life. And I want to make sure that you are doing it. And maybe you're someone who's been celebrating. So I just want to say kudos to you. I just celebrate you. I love that you're doing it. Keep on doing what you're doing. But for those who have a challenge, this episode is definitely for you. Don't forget to share this out with someone that you know would just love to hear what's going on about optimum living. And make sure that you subscribe if you haven't already done that, and hit that notification because we do upload a video every week. Let's talk about it. Life is always moving fast, right? There's always a lot of things going on. We're setting goals. We got missions. We're chasing dreams. And we have so much in our heads, so much going, got more, right? But how often do we stop to reflect on how far we've come? I used to go for a walk and I was like, I gotta get these 3 miles in. And I would be walking so fast, y'all. My mind would just be going. And I didn't even pay attention to how far I had walked. I didn't pay attention to the environment around me. I was just moving. And it just let me know that sometimes in life, I myself was very guilty of not even celebrating that I had done 3 miles 5 days straight. I was so busy trying to just get this day in of the 3 miles that I didn't celebrate the 4 days that I had done it, or the 3 years that I did it in a row. And I just want to say that it's really important. I wanted to talk about what it looks like to just pause. I want to invite you to pause with me, right? Just take a pause. Not to plan to rush ahead, but let's just reflect. Let's just reset. And let's celebrate the progress. Let's celebrate the progress, because progress is taking place. Growth is never just about constantly moving forward, although that's what we think that we want. Sometimes it's just acknowledging how far you've come. I don't know when was the last time you even did that. So I want you to grab something, get quiet, get your favorite drink, and let's talk. Let's just share. Let's be here in this space together as we talk about the power of self-reflection and acknowledging growth. Self-reflection. Now, this self-reflection is a good thing. Why? Because before we can move forward, we must understand where we are. When we're doing the map, when we're doing the navigation system, a lot of times you put in your destination, but it wants to know where you are in order for you to go there. Like, it tells you how long, it tells you how many tolls might be, blah, 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 right? It's very important that you know where you are So reflection allows you to gain clarity on the lessons you've learned. It allows us to recognize personal and spiritual growth. It also allows us to make intentional decisions about our future. So we can't just be moving so fast that we're unaware of the future and what it looks like. So that's what self-reflection does. Too often we focus on what's next. Can't wait. What's next? You just got here. Calm down. Let's celebrate it. Let's celebrate the achievement. Celebrate the overcoming. Celebrate what you've learned. If you don't pause to reflect, you may miss the opportunity to appreciate God's faithfulness, the resilience, or the inner transformation that has already occurred, right? Because this is what's happening. So let's take a moment to reflect. Here are some questions that I'm going to give you. I just want to invite you to write them down or go back and listen to the video, whatever it is, but just, really take it serious. This is about you. What have you learned about yourself over the past few months? What challenges have you overcome and have they shaped you? In what areas have you grown emotionally, spiritually, or personally? I do ask myself these questions because I need some answers. If you're struggling to answer, it's okay. It just may mean that you don't sit long enough to have self-reflection, and you may just have to take a little bit more time. It could be that you're uncertain about the decisions you've made. You're not sure if you've really grown. And that's why self-reflection is important. Just think about, what strength have I gained? What wisdom have I learned? Or growth, did I gain that in the experience? Those are just things that you do when you pause in the reset and the reflect. When we're celebrating our wins and our lessons learned, man, this was a hard one for me. I was the person who was to the next. I felt like when I got up and I did it, I just kept going. I had made things normal, not celebrating them. That became a problem in my life, right? Because when I say a problem, I mean, it's that I couldn't see how far I had gotten. I didn't acknowledge my own growth. And so I spent a lot of time thinking I had to improve in areas, or I had to do this, or I had to do that better. And I didn't celebrate it. I made reaching this milestone normal, whereas so many people never even reach that milestone, or all that I had to do to get to this milestone. And so I just want to encourage you to think about what it looks like to celebrate it. So when you're reflecting, journal it, talk about it, record it, whatever, share with other people. Just think about how it looks. What are the big moments, but not just the big moments only, right? Big moments are like graduation, promotion, significant milestones. But then we also have smaller things that happen in our lives that we just kind of look over, and they are important. I'll tell you what, I wrote a book on parenting. It's a foundational book, and I'm really excited about it. And I was spending more time worrying about how I'm going to sell the book. Will people buy the book? I mean, I'm a mother of 7. There are 7 adults now. They have spouses and everything. I have a little bit of something I think I could say. And I didn't even celebrate that, y'all. I was so busy thinking about the next thing and the next thing. And it was just recently when I was like, why do I feel this way? Because I hadn't reflected and I hadn't thought about it. And so I just want to encourage you to get to a place where you are paying attention to your small wins and your big wins. Being an author is a big win, but I wasn't celebrating that. I was more concerned about what I could do better, what I could do next, And I don't want you to be there. Here are some things that I want to give you in your steps when you're creating your win. Don't be like me, where you just make it normal, where you're not prioritizing your self-care, where you're not talking about what you've done. Take a moment to think about what you're proud about. What are you proud about for yourself? What's the challenge that you faced that led to a growth area? What's something that you should be talking about? Here's a lesson that I learned, guys. This is what I came through. What did the experience teach me? Like, ask yourself questions when you're reflecting. This is how we're celebrated. This is how you get to the celebration, because you're able to say, when someone says, what are you celebrating? I literally am celebrating A, B, and C. 1, 2, 3. Here are the things that I'm celebrating. And how did this challenge help me grow? Growth is something to be celebrated. I know most people don't pay attention to that, but growth is something to be celebrated, because it's what's happening in this moment of my growth that helps me to take the lessons forward into my future. And that's really important. So when you're creating your celebration, don't downplay it. I believe that is a culture that some of us have created in our own lives where we downplay it. Well, to God be the glory, oh, we just give God all the honor, and you should. But I also know that God used you. And it was you that had to sacrifice. And it was you that had to go through. And it was you that had to grow. And it was you that was rejected. And it was you that had to stay up at night. It was you that had to do some things, right? God fortified you and carried you through it. But you cannot celebrate it because to God be the glory. You want to also celebrate that you were a participator in the vision, in the mission, in the purpose of what God has been doing. And so I just want to encourage you to think about this next phase of your growth. What does it look like? As you reflect on where you've been, we must look ahead with intention, right? Growth doesn't happen by accident. We have to decide what we want to cultivate in our lives. So let's take an opportunity to reset, because we're talking about reset and reflection because we want to celebrate the wins. And what's the vision? This year alone, I had to reset and reflect on how much I've grown, who I am now. And I literally went back to revisit the vision for my life, the vision for this business, the vision for that, so that I was clear on how will I move forward to make sure that I stayed where I'm supposed to, and how I'm growing impacts that. Here are some steps for you. What area of your life do you want to cultivate in the next season? Here are some questions. They're just questions to ask yourself. Sometimes we're asking questions about what's my marketing going to be? Who's on my team? But I'm talking about you when you reset, right? Is it emotional wellness that you need to cultivate? Is it spiritual depth? Do you need more peace and balance because you're stretched and you're at burnout? Is there a career growth? What is it that you're looking for? Pick one area to focus on, just one, because if you pick too many, you're going to drive yourself and others around you. So instead of overwhelming yourself with a whole multiple and being like I used to be, over ambitious and unrealistic, focus on tiny but impactful shifts, right? That you can take. If your goal is better like self-care, commit to one mindful thing. If your goal is deepening your faith, start with 5 minutes of prayer each morning. If your goal is financial peace, start by reviewing your spending weekly. Just start somewhere. That's how you do it. If you need to release some things, that's a big one. I've had to release some things in these seasons of life that sometimes they're holding you back, right? What do I need to let go? I recently said that I heard God say that I'm in a quitting season. I'm not participating. I'm not going to be a person who is endorsing this area or this bad habit or whatever it is. I quit that. So what's no longer serving you that you want to grow? You want to grow. This doesn't serve you. Is it a limiting belief? Is it a habit? Is it a toxic mindset? Is it a fear of failure? Identify those things, because when you identify those things, it helps you in how you're going to move forward. Take a moment to write down whatever you need to release. And then when you release it, replace it with a new intention. So what's one thing you're stepping into this next season? This is my new intention. I want to be fit. I want to be fit. I want to be as healthy as I can possibly be. That's just an example for me. That's a personal one for me. What's one thing you're leaving behind? I'm leaving behind the uncommitted things that I was doing, the bad habits that sabotage what I want to do. That's what I'm leaving behind. So I just want to encourage you, when you are talking to yourself, when you're asking these questions, they're the hard questions. No one can answer for you, but you're cultivating this space and you want to ask yourself. I gave them to you. Make sure you go back and listen and ask yourself those. Why? Because you're growing here, and you can sometimes say, I feel stuck. I feel like I'm not growing. I feel like this, I feel that. And your feelings could be wrong, because you could definitely be growing. You have arrived to a different destination. You have overcome some things. You have started some things, or you have quit some things. You have released some things. So we're going to celebrate it. Growth is a journey and not a race. Growth is a journey and not a race. I know that the senior wise people in my life used to tell me that, but I thought it was a race for a long time. But I'm here to tell you, it is not a race. It is not a race, it is a journey, and God wants you to enjoy it. And while you're reflecting and while you are embracing things and while you are growing, encourage yourself to take small actions to keep celebrating. Write down what you learned about yourself. What did you learn about yourself? Sometimes we're talking about people so much, we don't even say what we learned about our own self. What was the last thing you celebrated? Big or small? Think about it. Ask yourself, did I celebrate that? Big or small? And lastly, set one simple intention for your next season. If you believe that you're graced to do it, you have everything you need, then trust that and move forward. You don't have to have all the answers and you don't have to have it figured out. Some things happen organically because God's already set some things, all right? So I just told you some things that I needed you to do. Why? Because we are moving in a place where we are what? We're going to reflect, we're going to reset, and we're going to celebrate our growth for the next steps. We have to do certain things before we can take the next steps. If today's episode resonated with you, remember, please subscribe and leave a review. It helps others to find us, this podcast. And don't forget, write it down. If you're journaling, do whatever you need to journal and celebrate everything in your progress and your plan. And don't forget that you're important in the journey. Thank you for joining me on Optimum Living. I'm Sybil Bull, and as always, remember to live with purpose, take care of yourself, and find meaning in the little things. Until next time, keep growing and enjoying the journey because you are created to live an optimum life. I'll see you next time.